Bodhicitta Sangha. Okay. Good morning. I would like welcome everybody. Thank you for coming here today. And before the teaching, it's important to generate bodhicitta, a kind mind, and correct your motivation. And I want to remind you that you should not forget that you have the precious human life and have the great opportunity to practice the meditation of inner life. So, and as I said, it's very important correct your Mahayana motivation before we start the teachings. And then today I would like to talk about very important or special the stages of meditation. And it's about sort of basic understanding of the stages of meditation. Maybe the topic, I would say, like special or important stages of meditation. So I would like to give some, advice about how to do the practice. The stages of meditation actually describe many levels of meditation and how a spiritual path can be developed. And if you understand the stages of meditation, then you have the perfect view, perfect meditation, and perfect conduct. Then your spiritual path will perfect, and it will lead you to the ultimate liberation. The practice dharma means that you have received beneficial teachings and have actually started to put them into practice, right? The teachings give us sort of guidance on how to live meaningful life, which is how to develop proper attitude. And in order to understand the stages of meditation, the first step is the teacher and the student relationship is very important. The teacher should pay attention to the teachings, and teacher really need to know how to use the teachings to benefit the students. This is very difficult part, a very difficult job, you know. If the teacher knows how to do that, if the teacher knows how to use his or her teachings to benefit the student, then this teacher is the best teacher, no doubt. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do that without experience, without understand the to know the students, their personality, their conduct, their attitude. Without knowing all of those, teacher has difficult to benefit and how to teach. It's very difficult. And students should attend the teachings and put the teachings into their practice. So it is very important that we should pay attention to the stages of meditation or these fundamentals. For example, practice renunciation, the awakening of mind, like the mind of Bodhicitta, and the wisdom sort of realizing emptiness and so on. These are the sort of general Buddhist, the stages of meditation. These stages of meditation are important for Buddhist people, I would say. However, more importantly, there are other stages of meditation that are good for everyone who is really interested in practicing sort of meditation, not just for only Buddhist practitioners, but good for everybody. So I'm going to talk about that kind of stages of meditation today. In order to practice these stages of meditation, we need, first of all, I would say we need three things. I mentioned this many times, but again today, a little bit in detail and more. So we need three things. One, preparation, two, implements, and three, methods. Practicing this will help us tame our minds, kind of wild minds. So it is very important that we have to learn how to handle our meditation. The actual process of meditation is working with the breath and holding your mind right there. That is kind of meditation. But there is a sort of tendency for some people to say, I've been meditating for 10 years and nothing is really happening. The thing is that when people say that I've been meditating for 10 years, what do you mean by meditation, Have you really been meditating for 10 years? Means like how many days a week and how many sort of sessions a day? How much of you, how much your mind was really there during those sessions? So when the sort of closer we check like this, the more we know that we're not meditating for 10 years. I can say I've been meditating for 30 years. I can say that because I started it long time ago. But if I check like this, how many days, how many years, how many sessions, then I can see I'm not meditating for 30 years. So don't think and don't say that I've been meditating for 10 years and nothing is really changed, nothing has changed, nothing is happening. That's not true. If we really meditate for 10 years, we are already, or we are almost attaining enlightenment. So, but we're not. That means we're not been, meditating for 10 years. We meditate every day, a little bit, but that's maybe you start 10 years ago, but that doesn't mean you really meditate for 10 years. Anyway, now I'll go back to the stages of meditation. To practice meditation, we need to follow these stages. So, first, the first stage is, as I said, we need one preparation. Do you remember? Which is not to expect any immediate sort of results, which means this is very important. We should not expect enlightenment after 1 week or 1 month of practice. So don't have too much expectation from your meditation. So we should prepare our minds, for the obstacles that will arise during meditation. Like when you meditate, if your meditation is not going well, you will see it because you have a lot of distractions that will destroy your meditation. But you should tell yourself, it's okay. If you have expectation, then you can't say it's okay. It's not okay, right? But if you have no expectation, then you just do meditate as much as you can. And then if your meditation is not so good, it's okay. So you should expect sort of lots of challenge because of, you see, these old habits, Buddhists call it karma, but I call this old habit. They're the same. So you have to be sort of willing to go through the whole process. If you do that, it will get better, definitely. If you don't lose sort of your confidence when your meditation is bad, then the next time it will get better, definitely. So we need feel confident. And the more confidence we have in our practice, our meditation, the more confident we can be sort of handling any situation. So our confidence comes from our view, you know. The more we know, the more confidence we can have at every stages of the path. So this is your preparation. So you should prepare these in your mind before you meditate. It's very important because as long as you have hope and fear in your mind, when you meditate or when you not meditate, whatever, then this sort of gives rise to all kinds of these emotions because of your hope and fear. So you should try to let go your expectations, which is hope, right? And try to meditate, meditate okayly, means like when you meditate, when your meditation is not going well, you should tell yourself it's okay. So that is the kind of first stage of meditation. It's a good preparation. Develop your confidence. Let go your expectations. Never think the result of the meditation. And just do it. Just do meditate. And then that's very good preparation. And then the second stage is we need two implements, right? Two implements, which is mindfulness and awareness. Whether we have a good meditation or not good meditation depends on these two, mindfulness and awareness. Mindfulness, awareness are the tools of the meditator. So important. So any kind of meditation that we practice, we cannot meditate without these two, mindfulness, awareness. Let's say we have the mind and we have the object of meditation always, right? So the question is, how are we going to hold these two together, mind and object? You see, with mindfulness and with awareness, we can hold these two together. As you know, mindfulness is not forgetting what you are doing or pay attention to the sort of main focus of the meditation or whatever you're doing. For example, when you meditate, we have to focus on the object. We cannot forget the object. And that is kind of part of your mindfulness. And then the awareness helps us to continually, recognize. Continually recognize and pay attention to, distractions. Distractions like, thoughts, disturbing emotions, and so on and so forth. Because distraction is Buddhist, is our main obstacles, right? So mindfulness is keeping the mind in a place, and awareness is watching, what is happening. For example, mindfulness is being focused on something, and then if the mind so wanders, but we have awareness, then we know that it happened, and we can set it back again. So your awareness is sort of looking at your mind from sort of, I would say, long distance. It means like your mind is focused on your meditation, and but you have object, you meditate, you focus on the object, so your mind is focused on meditation, but still you will know what is happening at that moment, right? What is happening at that moment. So if your mind sort of stays calm and relaxed, and at the same time you notice any sort of movements, then you have mindfulness and you have awareness. So mindfulness is the sort of stillness of mind, okay? Awareness is knowing that it is still, and you feel good energy and clarity. This experience is very powerful. You're focusing on the object, but still you recognize, still you understand what is happening. Even the like this movement, of your mind. So this experience is very powerful, very important. It comes from the ability of mindfulness to be here in the present moment. And teachers say that mindfulness has three qualities. It has three qualities. Do you know them? Familiarity, one quality. Not forgetting, second quality. And ability to hold. Ability to hold is third. So the first quality of mindfulness is familiarity, which happens when the mind is becoming sort of familiar with the object of meditation. Whatever it might be, because the mind is able to be there long enough to get an understanding of what the object is. The more familiar you become, the stronger your mindfulness becomes. So your mindfulness is sort of no longer this very small thing. You are now able to recognize your thoughts, let them go, and come back and be present. You see, in Buddhism, we always talk about view and meditation all the time, view and meditation, because what is your meditation? When you meditate, what is your meditation? It is holding your mind to the view. The more you hold the mind to the view, the more you understand the view. The view, we always talk about these three things: the view, meditation, the view, tawa, and then gum, meditation, and then choba means your conduct, your attitude. So in order to have a view, good view, you need wisdom. You can't rely on your mind. You have to develop your wisdom in order to have a good view. And after a while the view doesn't become anything different. It becomes you. It becomes you. It is the same with familiarity. For example, when you are meditating, your thoughts are taking place. What does familiar mean in this case? It means you are working with duality. When you become truly familiar, your dualistic thoughts begin to dissolve. And then the mind begins to relax. Our mind can't relax usually because of the dualistic thoughts, because of that. So after familiarity, the second quality of mindfulness is not forgetting. So when you remember, when you can remember, you have mindfulness, right? If you are always thinking about bodhicitta or thinking about emptiness, if you think about them all the time, then you are very sort of mindful of it, right? So not forgetting. So generally, you experience in the first stage of meditation is the movement of the mind. If you have familiarity and not forgetting, then you have a more sort of continuous feeling of where your mind is. And top of these two qualities, and then third quality of mindfulness is ability to hold onto the object of your meditation. This means when you focus on an object, it stays in your mind. So the more you develop your ability to hold, the more the movements of your mind will calm, and the more the stability you will have. So for example, if I don't have ability to focus on the object of my meditation, then I don't have ability to hold it. So when we are first beginning to meditate, we will experience the feeling of not being able to hold. We will not be able to hold our breath or our visualizations. And like that. But as with all practice, this will improve the more we do it, and eventually we will be able to hold our objects of meditation for longer and longer without sort of getting distracted. So when you have these three qualities of familiarity, not forgetting, and the ability to hold, then you can say you are truly mindful. Truly mindful. At that point, you have the three qualities of mind, three qualities of the mind. Now, I have talked about mindfulness many times, right? So I'm sure you understand it very well. Actually, intellectually, I'm not sure you have these qualities: familiarity, not forgetting, and ability to hold. I don't have those. Maybe you don't. So, but we know these are intellectually. So maybe it's not very interesting for you. But if you're going to understand meditation, you have to get inside it. Otherwise, there's not much point. So we are trying to penetrate inside to what is really going on in terms of how the mind is working. As meditators, we have to understand all these stages and aspects so that we can understand how to improve our meditation. And as you know, Buddhists, believe that distraction is the main obstacle. When you have distractions, basically, they said, you are not there. You are not there. So all of this today I'm going to, teach. All of these are antidotes to, distractions. We can meditate. Now our meditation is difficult, because of distractions. So we need antidotes. We need to understand this. That's why they call stages of meditation. So first you have this problem, these obstacles, what you do. And second, you reach the second level, what you do. So that is we call stages of meditation. So important to understand. The beginners, Buddhists, they say, like, not important to practice. The more important is you need to understand how to practice. That's the thing, how to practice. You just sit on cushion and you just hold your breath and focus on. That's maybe not. That's how you start. But then you have obstacles, and then you don't know how to deal with them. So if you don't have these antidotes, if you don't know how to take the steps, the stages of meditation, then you are stuck there. You have no antidote. Sometimes you read a book, but they didn't give you actually very clear answer because so that's why the stages of meditation very important. Basically, when we meditate, our partner, as partner, we say that you are on the cushion, but it doesn't mean that you're meditating. Your mind is maybe wanders away. Your mind is all over, so that you're physically like there, but mentally not. So that's why all these great meditators and masters, they focus on the mindfulness, and especially these are the tools of meditators, so important. So that's kind of very like briefly. You understand? We've been the talk about the mindfulness awareness many times because it's very important. Even though you understand, but always So now we talked about the one preparation, very important, and two I call implements, okay, which is tools, our for the so that's that. I think now Okay, maybe we should meditate for a while, and then I will tell you the next things, the three methods, and talk about these three methods and next. Meditation today. So now you have, we're going to meditate and using those, so far we have one preparation and two implements. So now meditation is, it's very important. Meditation is day-to-day process, right? And we have to sort of observe how our mind is today. We have to observe it's not today, but it's right now. Like when you meditate, this is the process. We have to observe how our mind is right now. So this time, we're going to practice Schemata, calm abiding meditation. So it's very familiar, right? Again, familiar. Schemata practice, very common. But how do we practice Schemata? From a Buddhist point of view, if you want to practice Schemata, as my meditators, the teachers always say that we start with an object when we practice Schemata. We start with an object. And usually, the teachers say you can pick any kind of objects, right? But as a Buddhist, the best object is to focus on the Buddha. It could be a statue of Buddha. It could be a picture of Buddha. So you have to focus on the Buddha. So today, we have a beautiful, the Buddha statue in our shrine. So that's our object. Now, how do we practice with the Buddha statue? We picked this object. So now you have the object, and then when you meditate, you look at his heart center, okay, with both your eyes open, and just look at his heart, on his heart center, and at the same time also bring your mind to his heart center, and try not to let anything come into your mind. It's simple, but it's kind of profound. So when you meditate, as I said, right, no expectation means like not making really big deal out of it, but just aware of it. Okay, there is no visualizations, there is no recitations, nothing. So you have the object, and then you have both of your eyes, and then you have your mind. That's all. There's three things. So, and then of course, main obstacle, thoughts. If your thoughts arise while you're doing this, rest your mind again and continually resting, okay? Which means don't follow your thoughts. Don't think anything, and just focus on his heart center. That's all. That's all. Don't think like, usually we say like faith, devotion. Don't think any of like that. Faith, devotion, or having no faith, or what do you call it? Distrust. I'm not Buddhist. I don't know why I'm not focused on his statue. I have no kind of, don't think all of that. Just forget everything. So just to relax on his heart center. So if you practice like that, eventually you will have the experience of great relaxation, calmness. So you have to, like when you focus on his heart center and then your thoughts arise for sure. And then you refocus, continually focus on his heart center without thinking. No positive, no negative, nothing. Okay? So the benefit, Buddhist point of view, the benefit of this practice is said it in the Samadhi Raja Sutra. I will quote this for you. It says, those who recollect the moon like Buddha while walking, sitting, standing, or sleeping will always be in the Buddha's presence and will attain vast liberation. And also it says, his pure body is the color of gold. Beautiful is the protector of the world. Whoever visualizes him like this practice the meditation of the bodhisattvas. That's the benefit, okay? When you see his statues, when you see his pictures, you see always, our gold, right? Gold color. And our text, the prayers always say like the gold color. But it doesn't mean his skin was really sort of yellow or gold, do you understand? But it means like when at that time, in ancient time in India, when people see him, sort of there was great, when people see him, like great happiness sort of comes into their mind. Like sometimes when we see people, good people, we have different feeling, right? It's like evil people we see, we have like fear or something like different feeling. Good people with like something like that. Whenever they see Buddha, even though like people who are very arrogant and like that, when a Buddha say they just uncontrolled, then the respect and all of that just like out of control, And so he's so powerful person. And people love him to see him because he brings, happiness into their mind. So he was, the gold color means like he's very pleasant, very pleasant, is very beautiful, is very handsome, very handsome. He was from Punjab, It's actually Indian people. The Punjabs are very beautiful people, very handsome. And he's very lovely. And what else? I don't know. So that's, so in ancient also like the people really loved gold, They love gold, like jewelry, gold. So therefore, I think that's why, I don't know, his skin color was gold. It doesn't mean he's really yellow, but it's beautiful. It's like pleasant. Actually, that's it. Yit-dogomba in Tibetan, like Yit-dogomba. I don't know how to say this. Yit-dogomba means like very beautiful, like powerful and pleasant when you see him. So that's why, like, in this, just I quote you like this his color is like protector Buddha, like gold color. So anyway, so that's your meditation. Do you understand? So you don't need, just open your eyes and just focus on his heart center. Okay, that's it. And then eventually you will experience, right, the relaxation. That's what we call shamatha meditation, because it your mind calm and relax, and there are not many thoughts. Again, remember the mindfulness awareness. So when you are relaxed, but at the same time you really understand everything there. That's what we call clarity. That's sometimes you call awareness. So that's the thing. So there's no expectation. You just focus on his statue, his center, and no expectation, okay? The result, nothing. That's why. And then just bring your mindfulness and awareness, and then just focus on his heart center for a few minutes, okay? That's all. Okay, I have a picture here, so I can focus on that.